Hey everybody, welcome to Always Bored, Never Boring. Today we are going to be looking at issue 35 of Warhammer 40,000 Conquest magazine. For those of you who don't know, Warhammer 40,000 Conquest magazine is a weekly publication from Hachette Publishing in association with Games Workshop, and it serves as an introduction to the Warhammer 40,000 hobby and game. In each magazine you get new rules, you get scenarios to play through, and in each issue you get either some miniatures or you get hobby supplies such as paint and brushes. In this particular issue you get a Chaplain miniature. However, before we take a look at the Chaplain miniature and the contents of this magazine, I first want to talk about the Silver Templars. Now, in previous videos I have complained slightly about the way that Hachette Publishing has dealt with the inclusion of additional products that they've made available to subscribers. There's two occasions where I received products that I wasn't expecting to receive and was charged for. There was an exclusive art book that I didn't realize I was going to get, and then they charged me for a binder that I never asked for and they never said was coming. And on both occasions I've had to contact them and say that's not on, and I mentioned it in the videos as well. And now there is another product on the way, another subscriber benefit that you have to pay extra for, and it is a source book for a faction called the Silver Templars. Now, the Silver Templars are basically new. They're a successor chapter of the Ultramarines, and they've been created for Warhammer 40,000 Conquest magazine, but they are canon. They are supposed to be part of the greater universe, but they weren't really mentioned before until Warhammer 40,000 Conquest. They've been mentioned a few times in some of the fluff sections of previous magazines. And yeah, so subscribers are getting access to a source book for the Silver Templars, and I'm quite pleased that Hachette Publishing did several things to make us aware of this. First of all, they included this letter, and here's what it says. It says, "This exclusive book takes an in-depth look at the heroes, battles, rituals, and traditions of the new Space Marine chapter. Presented in full colour, this hardcover title includes fantastic artwork and an extensive gallery of expertly painted Silver Templars miniatures to inspire your own painting projects." Kind of weird, because obviously the Silver Templars are a successor chapter to the Ultramarines. They have a different paint scheme to the Ultramarines. They will not look like any of the miniatures that you will have painted up to this point if you've been following the Ultramarines painting guides in the magazine. So yeah, it's a slightly odd thing, but at least they've made it quite clear it's coming. And also, I received an email the other day pointing this out to me as well. So they've doubled down on trying to make sure subscribers are aware of this product, and they've given me a month to opt out. They opt you in automatically, but you get a month to opt out, because when you subscribe, you don't get your magazines weekly, you get them in a bundle once a month. On consideration, I am going to receive the book, because I figure I can show it off on the channel and we can have a look at it together. But yeah, so the Silver Templars are coming, and I'm quite interested to see what that source book's going to be all about. But like I say, it is slightly weird that all the way through, we're up to issue 35, painting our Ultramarines in traditional Ultramarines colours, and then suddenly we get a source book for a successor chapter which has a different colour scheme. Little bit odd. But anyway, more on that in the future, because I will be getting that source book with my next bundle of magazines. Issue 35 is only the first issue from my latest bundle of 4, and we're going to take a look at it now. We're going to start by having a look at the miniature. Here it is. Doesn't seem like much, but this miniature actually retails from Games Workshop directly for £22.50. Now, that's quite a lot of money for a single miniature. It's a cool miniature, but yeah, £22.50 is pushing it a little bit in terms of pricing. But by purchasing Warhammer 40,000 Conquest issue 35, you get this miniature for just £7.99. That's a massive saving of £14.51. So that's very cool. That's really cool. So yeah, massive savings. So whether or not you think the actual original price is silly, I think £7.99 is a very good price for a miniature of this quality. It's a hero level miniature. It's a chaplain. Really nicely detailed. You can see the skeletal armor there, the iron halo here, the Crozius Arcanum there. This is what are they called? Absolver pistols. There's a book which is going to have all the litanies of hate in, and there's a teeny tiny skull. Where's his head? There's his head. There's a Skeletor head there. Good stuff. Nice miniature. And it's £7.99. Very difficult to complain. Yes, the original price of $22.50 is a little bit steep for that, but it's not like there's even any customization options on that miniature. But $7.99, I think that's a very good price and really does represent a fantastic saving. So if you need a chaplain, consider picking up issue 35 as a fantastic way to get a good deal on that miniature. And what's going on in the magazine itself? I forgot I did that. Obviously, we get a picture of a chaplain. Now, that's quite a cool picture. He's in red robes here. On the front cover, he's in black armor and black robes. Now, one of the things that Warhammer 40,000 Conquest does is it does simple painting guides to get your miniatures tabletop ready, get them to the table as quickly as possible. And I have been saying a little bit in previous issues that I wish they would start introducing some newer concepts, because they tend to just do the same thing with each miniature. They show you how to just layer up the base colors and then just do the washes and get them on the table, which is fantastic. And they're really clear, concise painting guides that have good, clean results. But I wanted to start seeing a few things being introduced to give people new techniques to try out. And what I would like to see is them showing how to paint black armor and black robes. But I'm gonna go out on a limb and say they probably won't. But yeah, it'd be nice if they could go through painting black armor. Painting black seems like it should be easy, but it's really not. It's one of the trickier things, I think, when painting, trying to get black that looks black, but also it doesn't just look completely flat and lifeless. But we shall see in a moment, in just a few pages' time. We've got some stuff here showing the armoring. Let's see if I got all the names right. Absolver pistol, the Tome of Litanies, and the Crozius Arcanum, and skeletal armor. I think I said all those things correctly when we were looking at the frame. Go me! What else we got? It's a little bit of the Primaris Chaplain War Gear data file, just showing off a bit more information about these various different things that he carries about his person. And then we have some history. Some more history of the Imperium. Hint, loads of fighting and people dying. And then we have Litany of Hatred. What is this? It's more fiction. This is something they've started doing quite a lot now, putting in these small works of fiction. Just a 2-pager again. They've done quite a lot of these 2-page mini stories. They're quite nicely written, but it's not really enough to get your teeth into or anything. It would be nice to start seeing a longer story broken up. But it's nice little bits of flavor text. just to help expand what the world is like, and perhaps impart that information in a slightly more colourful way than just the charts and the history lessons. That a lot of the fluff is a little bit on the dry side. It's just saying, and here's a timeline of things that happened. But anyway, here we have how to build the Primaris Chaplain. So we've got our clipper and glue safety, because this is not an easy build miniature. It does require glue. It's not push fit. But it's a relatively straightforward miniature. It's certainly more straightforward than some of the other hero miniatures we've seen in previous issues. And it's a nice simple assembly guide. The yellow indicates where you stick some glue. And yeah, it's all pretty straightforward. And the final miniature is very nice. It's a nice final miniature. And then we've got how to paint the Primaris Chaplain. And we start by undercoating in Abaddon Black, because they are doing the black armor, I would assume, by undercoating in black. What do we got? Details in lead belcher. Yeah, Mephiston red. Here we go. They've gone for a red robe, so they don't have to go into the process of actually painting a black robe like this. It would have been cool just to do that. I'm not sure if they've given us all the colours that you would need to be able to make something look like worn leather, because you have to fine line in the little nicks in the leather that make it look worn. I'm not sure they've given us enough colours yet. But anyway, yeah, so they've gone for like a matte black armour and then edged it in gold. Painted the robe red. And you see they've just, at this point, they're just blocking out the flat base colours. Yeah, Celestial Grey. Bit of blue. It's turning out quite garish. Quite garish for a chaplain. There's lots of bling and the red robe and the blue shoulder pad, and it looks a little bit garish. They're toning it down with Nuln Oil and Agrax Earth shade, and painting the eyes. Astro Granite on the base, and yeah, I mean, that's fine tabletop quality miniature. Like I say, nice clean results, but they haven't really painted that armor black. They've painted it black. They've not. Do you know what I mean? There's no highlighting or anything on that. It's a matte black backpack, and the leg there's no shading or highlighting or anything on it. It's just black. So it doesn't really look like finished black armor. Again, it's nice. It's a nice clean result. It's obviously very simple, and it's designed to get these models on the tabletop. But painting black is tricky, and this would have been a good issue and a good opportunity to perhaps look at ways to deal with that. But hey ho, you can't have everything. We now go into a Sacred Defense, which is another mission. So this mission will introduce the use of our new character. Defend the shrine. So what have we got? We've got the Plague Boys coming in on this edge, and we've got Space Marines holding a zone, and yep, keep the Plague Boys out. It's circle the wagons, keep the Plague Boys at a distance. And then here we go, on the back we have the Primaris Chaplain datasheet, which is very cool that they include these. Very happy to see them. And there we go. That is the datasheet for the Primaris Chaplain. So all told, you're getting the miniature, you're getting the rules for the miniature, you're getting a scenario to use the miniature in, along with all the other stuff. You're getting a straightforward painting guide for getting that miniature on the table. I'm not personally keen on the final results in terms of the actual look of the miniature. It looks, I don't know, it doesn't look quite right to me. But what do I know? Let's have a look at the back of the magazine and see what's coming next. We have, in issue 36, paints. I knew that because I've got the magazine over there on the table. So yeah, 3 paints, including Athonian Camo Shade, so a new shade, which will be interesting because we can go back. We'll be going back and revisiting some other miniatures, I am sure. And then in issue 37, we have, rather disappointingly, it's the other half of the Rise of Pattern Ruins set, which we received in a previous issue. I did say when I reviewed that previous issue that I'm sure we would get the other half of the ruins, because these ruins are normally sold with in a box with 2 frames, and obviously we only got 1 frame in the previous magazine, and now we're getting the 2nd frame. But there we go. That is something to look at another time. For now, as I always do when I review these magazines, I'm going to put up some running costs. These costs are the cost of subscribing to the magazine and paying $7.99 an issue versus the cost of purchasing all the products that you get with the magazine at retail prices from Games Workshop Direct. It doesn't consider online discounts, it doesn't consider bulk buying, it doesn't consider purchasing starter sets and breaking them up with your mates, and it also doesn't consider the value of the contents of the magazine itself. It's just the price of the products side by side. And that's it from me. Thank you very much for watching. As always, please consider leaving your comments and queries below. If you have enjoyed this, please like, and if you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing, because I go through these magazines all the time. And I'd love it if you came back to see me again. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.